Welcome back. Today we're doing 7.4. We are doing hypothesis testing again, but now for proportions. So this means these are your binomial problems. So these are going to be yes, no questions. The process is going to be the same. We are back to a Z distribution. So Z distribution for sigma known and for binomial. T distribution if sigma is not known. All right, let's take a look at our first problem. Medical researcher says that less than 25% of adults are smokers. Okay, are you a smoker? Yes, no, that's going to be binomial. So instead of using the mean, we're using P because it's a population proportion. So P is less than 0.25. That's going to be our claim. Okay, the complement of that is going to be P is greater than or equal to 0.25. And this is going to be our H naught because it's got the equal sign, and our HA is the other one. We're going to draw a picture. Our HA points to the type of problem it is. So this is going to be a left tail test. So that means my alpha is going to be in this left tail. Alpha equals 0.05. Let's figure out what the critical value for alpha is. Let's go to our calculator. Those of you who are my TI people, you're going to go second distribution, and you're going to go to inverse norm. And you're going to enter your area, which in this case is 0.05 because we're measuring from the left and it's on the left. My class calc people, we are going to go to stat and then to tests, just kidding, distribution and plot. And then we're going to do a normal distribution because we're doing Z distributions this time. Our mean's always 0 on a standard normal and standard deviation's 1. There's my curve. Now I'm going to go back into stat, into distribution plot, and tack on this inverse CDF. That always gives me my values when I plug in an area. So they want to know what the area is, 0.05. So this, whoops, in my parentheses here, hold on. There we go. So my number is negative 1.64. Makes sense. It's on the left. It's negative. Good. Okay. So this is my Z critical. So that means my rejection region is going to be anything less than 1.64. So anything into the tail from that cutoff of that critical point. That's your boundary marker. Okay. Now let's do the hypothesis test. We are going to go, my TI people, you are going into stat. And you're going over to tests. And you're going to, mine is number 5, it's 1 prop Z test. Okay, that stands for one proportion, one population proportion, and it's a Z curve. You're going to hit enter on that, and it's going to ask you for your P naught. That's like your mu. That's what's your claim about. What is the claim on the population proportion? So for us, that's going to be 0.25. And then it's going to ask you what your X value is. Your X value is going to be the number of people who say yes in your sample. Now, remember, I use that word yes lightly. They answer the question in however you framed it, affirmative. That actually might be a no answer depending on how the question is phrased. But in this case, what we're talking about is whether somebody's a smoker or not. So 19.3 say that they are smokers. So that would be a yes answer in this situation. Okay. So if that's the percentage of people that say yes out of my sample is 200. The way that I figure out my X value is I take my total number, it's going to be my sample size, times my p hat, which is my sample proportion. So in this case, I'm going to take 200 and I'm going to multiply it by 0.193 because that's 19.3% as a decimal. And we get 38.6. And we're going to need to round up because it's number of people. Okay, so you can't have a decimal of a person. So X is going to be 39. All right. So let's go back into our test. One prop Z test. We've got that. We've got 39. And then our N value is the next thing it asks you for. That's 200. And then it's got the same thing in the bottom. Is it a not equal, a less than, or greater than? That's your HA value. So since HA is a less than, you want to highlight this one and then hit calculate. And please hold, I hit the wrong button. And get you an answer here. 9. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, yeah, and it'll kick out this. So Z is going to be negative 1.796. That's going to be your test statistic. You've got a p-value 0.036. All right, and it tells you p hat and n too. So basically that means my standardized test statistic is going to be negative 1.796. So let's put that on here. That's right here. So I'm going to erase this because that's probably an inaccurate. That number is negative 1.796. So it's a bigger negative number, so it's more to the left. And P, you can see, is 0.036. That's smaller than my alpha. So it's like it's in here. So this is definitely where P is less than alpha and your standardized test statistic is less than your critical value. So this is definitely a fail, or this is definitely a reject H naught. Now, class calc people, let's jump over, show you where this is. You're going to go into stat and you're going into tests. One prop Z test, same thing. Okay, and here's your guys. P naught, that's going to be your 0.25. The X value, that's going to be the number of people that say yes to the survey. So that's what we talked about with the TI people. Same thing. It's going to be your N times your P hat, 39, and then your sample size is 200. And then you get to pick your value. We are less than, so we're this guy. P is 0.036, and here's your Z critical, or your standardized test statistic. Okay, so that's where my class calc people are going to go. We're going to reject H naught. All right, so my claim is HA, and we're rejecting H naught. Rejecting H naught, they overlap in this square, so there is enough evidence to support the claim. So there is enough evidence to support the claim. Now think about it. So my claim is HA. I reject H naught, which is the opposite of my claim. So if the opposite's not true, then the claim must be true, right? Okay, so this is how, if you want to prove a claim, this is what you want to happen. You want to make your claim be HA, and then you're hoping to reject H naught. That's the goal. So that's how you would, if you're going to set it up and try to prove something, that's how you'd want to set it up. And that's all there is to these, just new menu option and maybe refreshing your brain about what X is right here. And other than that, you're in good shape. Good luck. I will see you in class.